Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, where I have the rare pleasure of introducing to you a new player. Well, not really. Formerly known as Ragnarok, changing his ID yet again. Joining the ranks of the four-letter OP Korean names. It's Shin. Up against one of those proven four-letter names, we have Micro Jackson. It's ByuN, a best of 5 TVZ, made even more confusing by the fact that one, Shin is his first name. His last name is ByuN. I'm sure I'm butchering both of those, but you know you could just change your ID. You could change it on your profiles anyways. And once a season, you can change your profile name, your account name. And if you're going to play in the finals of tournaments, Shin, well then you got to get your Shin together. And if that's a tip that you didn't know and you want to change your name to something clever that no one's ever done before, like a barcode or, you know, Microangelo or something like that, well, then for more pro tips, make sure to like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we... Before the Reaper kills a drone. Yeah. 1,173 likes on this video, on this cast. And you can save a drone today. I'll cast another series. And while ByuN keeps... Wow. Doing this, I'll probably do it anyways. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. Better than 2 drones so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. Yeah, the Zergling counterattack was a little bit late here, indeed. As I'm not sure what Shin expected to do, but he clearly didn't get it. He's not even going to kill the tech lab. So, the Reapers get 2 drones. Well, you gotta, okay, repair it. The SCV had to come from the main. What, was he the only one with the contract? Came from the main. Gotta go outside. Everyone else, you go get him. Go get him, Fred. You got this. You paying hazard pay? Come on back. Don't worry about it. Well, ByuN keeps the tech lab alive, and of course, in typical ByuN fashion, a bit of an awkward start here, but he is going to make his way into Marines. Yes. Stim has begun. More barracks behind. He knows the Overlord is there. He's going to lift off a Rax to take it out. The Overlord easily picked off like an overripe tomato hanging out in the sky with tentacles dripping down, and now nothing at all. That was needlessly graphic and partially inaccurate, but at the end of the day, the Overlord is dead, and it can't say otherwise. Roach Orin's on the way. Shin opting for the more hefty defense here between the Queens and the Roaches as compared to just the Zerglings. He did get 3 bases up early. The Zerglings were kind of a... they were a bit misleading as to the situation. I don't know if ByuN... He did see the timing of the 3rd, so he knows that Shin has a pretty solid economy. And I don't know if there's going to be enough Marines to deal with this. There's 48 drones on the field, which is quite a nice economy for this stage of the game. Under 5 minutes in, just building up the Roaches. ByuN, poking back and forth, I think has now realized that unlikely to have enough Marines to get the damage done. It's going to be Stim and Combat Shield simultaneously. And by simultaneous, I mean slightly staggered, but close enough that they're part of the same push, alright? Don't get too pedantic with me. Come on. The Stim Combat Shield push. He's got a few Reapers in there. The grenades could break up the biomass. We'll see how well he's able to use them. He's gonna go. That's way too many Roaches. Alright. Yeah, Shin's gonna chase him down. The grenades strongly suggest otherwise. If he steps off the creep, ByuN may very well turn. Well, ByuN can't actually chase off the creep. The Roaches just aren't fast enough. They might pick off 1 or 2 stragglers, but... yeah, without speed and without creep, I can't actually chase him down. So, Shin is able to get... I'm gonna keep saying his name, because otherwise I'm gonna default to Ragnarok, even though... oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, no. He's been using his last name as an ID for quite a while. But he hadn't officially changed his ID until, like, a few weeks ago. But it is currently listed. Now, somewhat ironically, his team is Mystery Gamers. MYG, but how appropriate for someone who we're not 100% confident what we're supposed to call him. It's not particularly hard to figure it out. It's just change your profile, all right? All right, ByuN. Listen, the StarCraft accounts are free, by the way. I'm just saying. Ask all the alleged Smurfs on the ladder. I'm sorry, I mean content creators. Infestation Pit is on the way. Speed for Zerglings and for roaches. We got +1 ranged attack and +1 carapace coming together for Shin. As ByuN opts for the most generic Terran of all time. It's gonna be a few tanks following up a massive Marine Marauder. 1-1 should be done momentarily. About 20 seconds out. Does he have an armory? He does not. So it kind of looks like ByuN wants to get something done with more than just these medevacs, though moving out with not having the armory means he is... Okay, he's starting it. Just a little bit on the late side. Alright, Marines into the main, and just in time for Jimmy to remind everyone of his incompetence. I want to feel like I'm there. And did you know the sound is actually quieter when you zoom out? Because you're further away from the action. I don't... It is something to consider, though. Fun fact. Well, the fungal just blunts the force of that attack, but he's able to pick up and get out before any of the roaches and ravagers are able to connect with the Marines. In autumn colors, how seasonal on this beautiful map. But will be healed up. Pack most of the way to full. Armory nearly done. Shin now. Hive tech is already on the way. Missile attacks level 1 done for the roaches. And things are going to get a lot more dramatic momentarily. Already another fungal in the center. More siege tanks. Another factory for ByuN. Roach Ravager will have to move back. There's a scan that allows a few more Marines to cut through. This double drop will not be dealt with, at least until Hive. Until there's something like Vipers to help chip away at those medevacs. I saw a pretty good question about why Zerg players don't just build a Spire or camp some Hydras or something to deal with the medevacs. And it is a good argument, but very simply, the investment in direct anti-air like the Spire, like Mutas, is so costly. 200 for the Spire. Well, we'll see after this. Yeah, the medevac's just healing through the fungals. Another one comes through. Corrosive Bow's not going to be enough, and the stutter step is tearing up the rest. ByuN takes a significant victory there, but the short version is you're not going to have enough army on the ground if you go for anything that can reliably deal with medevacs. Mutalisks aren't going to cut it most of the time, especially if they get scouted before. Corrosive Bile and Fungal, on the other hand, has a good opportunity to take out that ground army if it's able to land a connection. And there you go. Baneling speed not quite done yet, but 2-2 still pretty far off for ByuN. He hasn't really been leveraging those medevacs as much as he usually could. But yeah, that is the simple version, is getting a Spire, and especially Corruptors, but even Mutas, are not a reliable method of chasing down medevacs, and they don't help too much in a straight-up fight. As if they see you going for Spire, they're likely to just fight directly on the ground, just like this. But ByuN, being overrun to some extent, the siege tanks getting a lot of damage done. The roaches and zerglings are overwhelming, and Shin has taken that bottom left corner. And with it, has the opportunity to use those golden minerals here on Golden Aura, which is, oh, and an Ultralisk Cavern as well. Honestly, against someone who is relatively low tech and doesn't have ghosts, just now Liberators, Ultras are a good, I won't go with great, but a good tempo-based choice. Something that can exploit an advantage, or exploit map control in a super high economy. Oh, Shin's got some infestors down there. I'm burrowed, waiting for a shot. The medevacs will spot most of the army. He's going to see the gold. He may have actually known about it before. Medevac's already dropping out. The drone's somewhat exposed. The Zergling's coming down. ByuN hitting the other side simultaneously. Going for the two-prong play here. Divide and conquer. Not exactly how you'd always think of it, but ByuN gonna take relatively small, not that small, but split his army into 2 or so parts and try to take good fights one way or another. But parasitic bombs come out. And the medevacs are split back. Not quite enough to kill him in one pass, but a second parasitic bomb. Dark has started just restacking them. He doesn't let him time out. All you need, so parasitic bomb does 120 damage. Medevacs have 150 HP. That isn't too difficult of math. So if you wait a couple seconds and parabomb again, it should kill him off. It's unlikely they're gonna get repaired by the time they get back home. Honestly, some Terrans, ByuN is not immune to this. Do not repair their medevacs at all. It's a problem. They've gotten a lot better about it, though. I'm talking about Terrans in general. The Royal Terran. No, not Valerian. Oh, the scans are there, but the fungal on the siege tank and a bunch of the bio. Blinding clouds, a beautiful fight from Shin. Baneling's trying to roll through, though, but the start of the fight looks so good. The end of it is a bit more muddy, as the medevacs are going to pick up. The real win, though, is keeping that base alive. Oh, Liberator in the main. He actually just sniped off an egg with an Ultra in it, which must have been very painful. And there's no way he knew an Ultra was in it, but the Liberator just happened to kill it. But keeping that gold base is a huge deal. Not as huge as dropping maybe 5 mules, obviously. But it does keep Shin going when ByuN is on a comfortable 4 bases here. Does he have adrenal glands? Oh, Shin carrying over from the artist formerly known as Ragnarok in forgetting adrenal glands every single game. You wanted to be someone new. Shin. Ragnarok. Hebium. Get adrenal glands. You're making how many? Hundreds of Zerglings. Get adrenal glands with 40% attack speed bonus for Zerglings is a larger DPS upgrade than any of the attack upgrades. There are some... I don't even know if there are any exceptions to that. Maybe not against Ultras specifically, but it is the biggest... And he is so notorious. I think he forgets it in more games than he gets it, especially on time. At this point, it's been forgotten. It's a big mistake. Well, let's see if it'll matter at the end of the day, though. Blinding Cloud. Not too many Zerglings are making it through, but some of them are on the ghost. Ultras getting jammed up by supply depots here. The snipes are coming off. The Ultras are trickling in. ByuN, he had a rough start to the fight. And is able to retreat here. And it's gonna be close. But at the end of the day, ByuN falls back. He has enough medevacs to keep the rest of the army intact. And do I want to blame it all on the lack of adrenal glands? I can't. I want to, but I won't. It certainly didn't help, though. Shit. If we're gonna turn over a new leaf, if we're gonna try to use that OP 4-letter name... the last time, we looked this up in one of the weirder and more confusing rabbit holes I've gone down. The last time somebody won the GSL that had a name longer than 5 letters, Rogue, of course, being the only exception here. The last time someone won GSL, not Super Tournament, but the GSL regular season, was 2017 with Innovation. For 6 years. You're like, well, didn't Maru win like 6 of them? So that accounts for 2... Hey! Alright. Zest was up there, Cure, when he beat Zest. Alright, it's been a whole lot. So Shin trying to get... Maybe if the Liberator flies over it, he'll remember it exists. But it is a... It might not be equivalent with forgetting Combat Shield, but it's up there. Concussive Shells is another one that is often forgotten and easier to miss. Honestly, Adrenal Glands is very easy to miss because there's no visual difference besides your Zerglings becoming Cracklings. And by that I mean looking... the way it was explained to me, and it was a different time in the Brood War, is they look like they're on crack. And that's why they're called Cracklings. And if I was trolled or lied to, well, I choose to believe it considering how most people describe Brood War. Well, here come the Ultras on the left flank as well. The Planetary Fortress takes out a whole bunch of the Banelings simultaneously. Another attack over to the right. Ultras left, right, and not in the center at the moment. He's making so many late. 260 have died thus far. try this one quick trick to increase your Ligulac ranking by like five ranks, Shin. ByuN is on the edge of breaking here. 1 or 2 good attacks. Shin is wielding such a huge supply and has so much economy behind it. But ByuN is starting to really build up that late game army composition that is so difficult for Zerg to deal with. Liberators, ghosts, siege tanks, planetaries, so many orbitals, you don't really need SCVs. It becomes so incredible. He's building 2-3 planetaries at a time. He's building another planetary as a wall off. Oh my god. ByuN is turtling up because he fully expects Shin to keep throwing Shin at him. And so far he's been pretty right about it. Building armor, Neo Steel armor, as well as high sec auto tracking on the way. We got a greater spell. We got +3 melee. He canceled +2 ranged attack. What did he need the money for is the question. Adrenal glands. No. A scan. ByuN realized he could just scan the entire map. He spots the Greater Spire. He just scanned the first 3 bases. Falling back, though, so many Banelings. The Liberators, a Venn diagram of freedom overlapping. And Shin is not able to press any further. He was trying to trade out some of that army. ByuN is now adding Thors, more factories. He's got planetaries across the board. That is probably the weakest point that was just being hit there. The 3rd base does not have any planetaries nearby. So if there was a point to hit, the planetaries are not so much damage in and of themselves, but they definitely draw attention. And anything that gets the ultras to stop for even half a second to smell the roses, or in this case, whatever the planetary's firing, is a big deal. It makes it that much easier for the ghosts to line up their snipes. Oh my, a scan. Infestor as well, popped underground. A ground-piercing bullet. 10 Broodlords on the way, but that's going to be quite literally all the gas for Shin here. Still no adrenal glands. I'm gonna keep coming back to that. And we talked about this last time. It was a one-way conversation, just like me and you, dear viewer, but adrenal glands is very important. There's a reason why Cyril, the moment he gets Hive, it's like 2 Vipers, adrenal glands, and, well, that's probably the end of it, if he's strapped for cash, which is rare, but we got Blue Flame on the way, smart servos. It looks like ByuN wants to go into some hell chats. That ghost, obliterated by the Broodlords in the sky, but there should be some anti-air here ready to deal with it. Indeed, just sniping out the Overseers. There's no more detection. Do the ghosts have cloak? ByuN scans. There's a single infestor underneath, but without the fungal, there's actually no detection here. He has to build 5 more Overseers. He actually sieged up the Overseers right into range of the snipes. Shin has the right army, but he's attacking directly into a planetary. Oh my. The Broodlords will unleash the Broodlings, but on Marauders in front mostly. The snipes are lining up. And more shots. The Liberators on the back line. Yes, a few ghosts might die, but the Broodlord count has already been shot down to size. He's lost 3 of them. The Broodlings getting dragged right back. The Broodlords, overall, I would say got a nerf. Even though they are faster, the Broodlings only have 20 HP, down from 30, which means they die, I believe, in a single hit to ghosts. And easily die, well, I mean, that's just a lot more Marine shots. They die easily to Hellbats, even the ones that don't have quite as much damage against light. So Broodlords, while being more maneuverable, are just overall a little harder to make work. And I don't think Shin has done enough to break this location. Oh, the drones? Not the time! Not the time! Oh, that was those drones not very happy about this. A scan in the bottom left sees that the gold base was not rebuilt. The ghost will cloak the non-adrenal glands lings. I don't know, it's a crazy mental block to have. Like, if it was... I'm trying to think of another upgrade that doesn't matter, like smart servos. is an upgrade that's very good, but I wouldn't say is game-changing. The ability to change the mode of the Hellbats and Thors is nice, but definitely kind of extraneous. But 40% attack speed for your Zerglings, which you are making hundreds of, is very, very important. Now, he's not on creep, though. Those queens need creep for transfuse. Coming in, the Thors on the back line, the ghosts at the front. Kind of interchangeable there. The Bio Army nuke! He's nuking! From the back, though, it's a bit dicey. Don't you dare get hit by this. You have to see the ghost. It's literally right there. It is right there. Oh no. Oh my. And he gets out! I can't believe he got that ghost out. Come on! Are you kidding me? The nuke actually lands. And Shin, it feels like he just keeps throwing the same army at ByuN, and ByuN is doing better and better against it each time. The Broodlords did not really make any in fact, there's no detection, which means the ghosts are just having some target practice there in the center of the map. Oh god. Shin so solid in the mid game rather. His early, honestly, I think he handled ByuN's mass. Oh god, are you kidding? I think ByuN's just trolling him now. ByuN's pretty confident in where he is. He's got a medevac with, like, a strong gust of wind would kill that medevac, but Shin certainly can't. He set himself up so well. In fact, that roach timing, he read ByuN like a book. But he didn't read how many upgrades were left in his spawning. Okay, finally it dies. And it cloaks. ByuN over here trying to make individual ghosts work. Does somebody? I need somebody. I'm gonna contact Maddox or someone, and I'm gonna make sure that Shin knows that adrenal glands exists. This is the most backseat YouTuber I've ever been, but it is upsetting. Not that Zerglings are a huge part of the army at this stage, but there have been times. Oh my god, ByuN. Just scan the map. Map hacks with extra steps. Scanning underneath his army just in case of Infestor. Yep. Thors. Is there Neural Parasite? There is not, by the way. That one, well, ByuN, if they look at the supply though, it might look pretty bad for ByuN. He's finally getting Caduceus Reactor. But during all this, he was rebuilding. A lot of the Thors are still intact. All the Lings and the Ultras filed through, essentially alleyways of death. ByuN does get knocked under 200 supply. He's not able to rebuild it immediately. Both players remembering these upgrades. Neural Parasite, Caduceus Reactor, Medevac energy regen doubled. Medevac's, you know, just a weak unit in the late game, so they needed a buff. A whole bunch more Zerglings coming in. The Hell Chads holding the line. That's not remotely close to enough. Shin's army is just crumbling. He keeps sending Hydras across. In fact, the Hydra's doing pretty well for themselves. But the ghost count is too damn high. The medevac's just healing him through it. No, that's it. Yeah. ByuN holds the line. And honestly, it feels like ByuN, at some point there, relatively early on, like 5 or 6 minutes ago, started having some real fun with it. As Shin, Ultras into Lings, into Broods, but never really found the army composition. It is hard to pick it apart, but never at any point were the Queens, the Infestors, and the Vipers really working with each other. It was always one or the others, but never the full combo. And against a Terran with multiple planetaries, well, game 2. ByuN off to a 1-game lead. Without using a single Cyclone. By the way, not that it was necessarily great in that game, but not a single Widow Mine. If we're listing off units that weren't built, technically, no battle cruisers. or ravens. I don't think there was any Vikings. Maybe. Adrenal gland? No adrenal glands. Another pull first. This time with gas from Shin. Interesting. Is this some sort of roach hauling? I mean, I guess he could just be going. So the 2 Rex play as kind of with the wall off at the front. Kind of prevented, especially since this is the good side of the map for ByuN, whereas add-ons are not exposed. Has kind of prevented a lot of these early pool builds from finding any purchase. Only Dark seems to make any headway. Oh, it's not a 2 Rex. He is just getting Zergling speed. Overlord wandering up. It's going to be a double Marine opener, but Shin spots it. Roach Warren on the way. He's going to lift the Rex to deal with this. A couple Zerglings. So this could be very good for Shin here. The Overlord will try to go back. It's not going to. He's just going to let it die. He'll just stand there and take it. He'll dance it. The dancing. I love it. All right. There you go. Knows it's dead. Lets it go. You can dance if you want to. LOL, says Shin. Just before he puts 3 roaches and 8 lings in production. Looks like he's gonna do a Ravager ling break, try to bust through. And ByuN, well, ByuN does have more. Oh my god, I can't believe it. ByuN is gonna go with 3 barracks and a bunch of Marines. Wow. Just a groundbreaking build here. No, the only ground broken was the stuff under the bunker, which is going to be very helpful. The bunker won't necessarily stop this, but if he didn't have it, I actually think this Ravager Zergling bust would almost certainly end the game. But now that it's here, and I don't know if he was just trying to bait it out, but without that, well, if you don't go Reaper and you don't have the bunker, you're at the whims of whatever the Zerg wants to do. But Shin gonna try to bust through. There is no stim. There is no combat shield. There won't be for quite a while. More Zerglings on the way. There's no info here whatsoever. The first indication will be the Ravagers. He's got to pull the SCVs immediately. Does so. The repair is good. But will it be good enough to hold the second round of Corrosive Bile? It will not be. The Zerglings will break through. The Marines getting surrounded. Some of them will be killed. A surprising amount survive. ByuN has only lost 3 SCVs somehow. Because of course. Because of course it's ByuN. 20 more Zerglings on the way. Well, Stim isn't done. With Stim, this could be held. But busting through, a whole bunch more Zerglings show up. Yeah, he just gives up on it. No longer. The SCV's on the high ground here. Oh, if he could get 1 Ravager, that'd be so nice. He's working. He really needs to not waste those Corrosive Biles, though. This is a dicey scenario, but ByuN has the economy. He has 33 SCVs. He can afford to lose a few of them. I think ByuN will wait for the next Corrosive Bile. Nope, just gonna go as soon as he has Stim and Combat Shield. When does he hit the button? How many? Are there enough Marines now? The Corrosive Biles are so important. Easily dodges away. Are we just gonna go back to our corners? Wow, okay. There's enough Marines that Shin doesn't want to press the issue, but he can't. There is no following the. You have to go again. I think he agrees. He's making more roaches. He's getting double gas. He's going to build a bunch more Ravagers. And he's going to go again. ByuN with the double bunker. A scan. Does he spot the roaches coming out? Great scouting by ByuN. He sees the double gas. Oh, he saw the drone count. Or more importantly, the lack thereof. So that is about as much info as you need. Yeah, when they have less drones mining minerals at their natural than you have SCVs, looks like Shin's just gonna try to wait him out. He's gonna go so all in. He's trusting or hoping that ByuN thinks that he's trying to macro it. He's built so much. He's only at 28 drones. If he can catch the army. There's triple bunker here. Oh, the army was spotted. A marine, a brave marine, went out and was slaughtered by the group of Ravagers. ByuN trying to get out ahead of it. The SCVs will be pulled, but the first bunker... Well, he does need to take out the bunker. Time is not on Shin's side here. Oh no. The repairs are good. Uh-oh. You really got a target? Is it in oh my god. Oh my... Is that enough? I think so. That's enough now. This is taking way too long, though. The multi-tiered defense here from ByuN. Yeah, he's chipping down the bunkers. That's so many Ravagers. He's not even bothering to try to target SCVs. He's just breaking through. This is gonna get... +1 attack is 10 seconds off. Medivacs are not. The stim... Oh wait, Medivacs are here! ByuN stims to the occasion. The SCV's caught in front, but if he can kill the Rabbit, he's staggering out the corrosive bios. Oh, taking some big hits. The Zergling's trying to surround, but the +1 attack is done. Oh my god, I think ByuN may have bitten off more than I'm just kidding. He turns it around. The stim. Again, the Medivac's nearly dead. The SCVs. Now would be a great time to remember that Medivac repair exit doesn't matter. He's gonna dodge. He's gonna dunk. And there we go. ByuN holds the line, and at the last moment turns it all around. Oh, he was ready for it. Not an ideal start here, but not the most surprising one either. ByuN not having it. Whether it is the late game Ultralisk attempts, or it is the early game roaches. I think, like, who builds 3 bunkers? He knew. He knew. ByuN on match point. Shin. Well, in deep Shin. In the correct side of the map here for ByuN. I've never, since this 2 barracks Reaper meta is the most we've ever talked, like since ByuN, and I'm giving ByuN credit, even Maru was the one who perfected it. ByuN popularized it for sure. ByuN, like, he gets royalties for every Reaper build. Like, from here in perpetuity. Because he's got the Reaper nerfed twice, and he's looking to do so again. But what was I saying? Oh, with the add-ons being stuck on one side or the other, depending on the side, they always are built on that back right corner, right? So that means, depending on which side of the map, your add-ons are either going to be facing the roaches, ravagers, and zerglings, or they're not. And that, I do think, affects a pretty significant amount of games nowadays. Not that that necessarily will stop Terran players from going for a certain build on a certain side of the map, or it'll stop Zergs from doing some sort of all-in. But I think maybe 10% of games, it skews it towards a certain direction. It maybe decides some of those games as well. I think Shin actually is a great macro player who does not trust himself in the late game. Which, you know, I can empathize with. I'm 1/3 Zerg myself. Some of my best friends are Zerg. And playing late game against Terran is not... It is not Wings of Liberty anymore. It is not just make massive amounts of lisks and lings and try to run down your opponent. The late game is a technical duel between ghosts and infestors and vipers and liberators. There's a lot of very technical components of it that are hard to manage, and that's understating it. For both sides, to be clear. The ghosts, well, en masse do quite well, but until you're able to build up that critical mass of them, and even if you are, just ask Cure how vulnerable they can be. I've never seen someone lose more ghosts and still win the game than Cure. The life expectancy of his ghosts are, well, he turns them into ghosts, all right. Oh my god. What a crazy build from ByuN. He's gonna go Marines. And then also get Stim with more Marines. ByuN, once again, pioneering the Terran revolution. A real Jim Raynor here. Then again, ByuN also up 2-0 with his tried and true classic strategy. So, can't fault him too much for leaning on it. Marines have always been good, and they only seem to get better as players do. As I think, now, I'm not sure of this, but I feel pretty confident in saying it anyways, which is most of my job. Marines have the highest DPS to mineral cost ratio, especially of any early game unit. I think things like the carrier, technically, like fully upgraded, might be similar. And of course splash damage units, but a stimmed Marine, especially considering how synergistic medevacs can be, are just simply the best bang for your buck. And almost every part of that is puns intended. Now, we'll see if Shin has what it takes. Yeah, I'm really leaning on saying his name a bunch of times to convince myself that's it. Please change your... So, 2 things. 2 notes. 1, change your profile name. 2, adrenal glands. I like the Zergling lords here. Ah, yes, the Lord of the Rings. Oh my god, the diva... Wait, do they not even see the center? Well, he sees it now. I'm pretty sure the Zerglings didn't actually see the attack move out because he went right through the center, which actually doesn't give them... What announcer is ByuN using? Alright, Stim's in. That's a lot of Zerglings. ByuN doesn't get any alerts because he doesn't get supply block. It's kind of crazy. He doesn't even get your forces are under attack alert. Alright. We'll get there. Just poking and prodding at the edge. Off of creep, he's not scared of anything. On creep? Oh, default. Meanwhile, here come the Marines. Don't want to chase him.
Here comes a new challenger.
I mean, he probably has Diva in Korean, but still. No, before you write your comment, yes, I am judging you. I don't blame you, but I am judging you. Alright, now that that's all said and unsaid. Shin with, you know, zoning out the Marines pretty well. 62 drones. He does have a lair done, right? But he doesn't have a Baneling nest, so Baneling speed isn't going to be following it up too quickly. Those rocks, though. The archaeologist. Oh, both sides. Rocks will never survive. Well, the Zerglings can spot this. ByuN? Oh, he turns in time. Yeah, that's more than enough. Who's flanking who? ByuN got a siege tank in that medevac. Looking for a deadly +1 push here. And Shin is a long way off. 1-1 and Baneling speed. So this very well could be a quick series ender. It's gonna come to... Well, ByuN, the only saving grace here, ByuN is on 2 base. He does not have a 3rd command center. Not even building right now. He only has 49 SCVs. So if Shin is able to hold, even if it costs the 4th base, there's still a good chance he can hold it together. Huge Zergling counterattack at the 3rd, which doesn't exist. Now, awkwardly, the medevacs try to decide, should I stay or should I go? Because if he stays, there'll be trouble, but if he goes, it'll be at least twice as much. The counterattack potential is too damn high. The banelings with speed, potentially. ByuN gonna try a long-winded push, actually walling off Marines with a siege tank. A pretty filthy tank positioning there. I would expect nothing less from Micro Jackson. Another potential tank push. +1 Carapace is done. A big deal in this scenario. That siege tank ain't gonna happen. The Marines picked up. Main base, though. Marines dropping out. Queen assassinated. Spore Crawler moving into position. Medevac's finally out of energy here. So B4's back. Another drop! Oh my. It is these times I do agree with your well-meaning commenter of why don't they just get a Spire? But if you look at Shin's gas right now, he's using every little bit of it. Can barely keep going with his upgrades. He doesn't even have +2 Carapace started. Trying to continue to build Banelings, because without Banelings, the Marines will easily just rip through the Zerglings. Even with Banelings, it's not going to be easy. There are so many Lings on the field. 90 almost. A few dozen Banelings. The 4th base, though, well, he built an alternative 4th. Marines will just take out the hatchery. That means ByuN will probably look to find another location to siege from. Where is that third? The 3rd command center is just now finishing. So despite all of this, Shin maintains a significant income advantage. Because by default, Terrans usually get a 3rd command center. That's what you're used to seeing. But in this scenario, just surviving is okay for the Zerg. Because you still have the production, and your economy will certainly be better than even a 2-base Terran with mules. As the main base is already mining out, the natural is nearly there. Things are drying up here for ByuN. He needs to get more damage than just killing a hatchery or 2. Casual Liberator. There's a dozen Queens on the field and 120 Zerglings. Oh, but a single Liberator finding 6 drone kills. Dragging the Queens potentially out of position. A scan, a stim to clear the creep, +2 melee attack. Not as strong as it once was, but still very important. An upgrade advantage can be a big deal. That's so many Zerglings! He's going for the upgrade. Target firing, gets +2 Carapace. Thankfully, it wasn't the just started or almost finished +2 melee. ByuN actually jukes back. The medevacs just have the run of the place. Well, not the run. Definitely not the run, but they can fly wherever they want. Queens don't seem to be anywhere nearby. The Zergling's chasing. Another... God, so annoying to put out all these fires. But Shin is slowly but surely working. Oh my god, the target fire. And just gunning down the Zerglings. ByuN refuses to let up. 17, 18, he just looked away for a second. And ByuN just killed 2 dozen drones. Oh my god. Micro Jackson. He's killed so many. 33 drones to 0 SCVs. Zerglings and Banelings. Literally, just the Marines are just untouchable. It's still a whole lot of Lings and Banes on the field. If he can ever find a counterattack, another drop to the bottom left, he's gonna lose this hatchery if ByuN focuses it. He doesn't. The Banelings, nope. Almost got me. Oh my god, the Marines behind the siege tank. The siege tank target firing huge chunks of Banelings. Ah, the cost efficiency from ByuN is ridiculous. But the unit count is cinematic from Shin here. Finally, some Widowmines target fires down more Banelings. Micro's back into the medevacts. Finally, Hive is on the way. Almost done, which brings us to the next segment. One which we've already had in this series, and we will have again. Does Shin remember that Adrenal Glands exists? Hive is done. You have 88 Zerglings. You've built several hundred. He doesn't have the gas right now. He's building 3 Vipers. You know what? I'll allow it. For now. It's like an AoE 2 tech tree, alright? Some people just don't have certain parts of the tech. Okay? It's a civilization difference. Like how some civilizations don't have access to the high-tech knights, or the English don't have access to a spine. Adrenal gland! Oh, it's happening! Oh my god! Yeah, we did it! The message got through! It's finally the most important thing that could have happened in this entire series.
Oh my god.
Adrenal glands for 100 Zerglings. He remembers!
Oh, hypnosis. Alright.
Okay, what else was happening in this game? I got a little distracted. ByuN has been treading water. Oh my god, get over here! Get back here! Get back! Oh my god! He's trying to row the medevacs, and the medevacs fighting back against the tractor beams. And then he just gives up the Marines. ByuN is somehow maxed out. Shin had the army supply, he had the economic advantage. It has slipped. Now there's a bunch of widow mines in the field. They don't have drilling claws, nor is he researching it. Don't get me started. Okay, not the time. A lot of claws going unupgraded throughout this series, one way or another. Okay, well, hopefully his life insurance has a baneling clause. He just lost a surprising amount of them. More banelings coming close. No blinding club. Parasitic bomb somehow manages to get away still with many of the Marines. Though multiple parasitic bombs. A widow mine. Don't let it hit you in the way out. ByuN does lose a lot of supply. Oh my god, the cost efficiency for ByuN, but it's not actually as bad as I thought for Shin here. He's lost 5,000 more minerals. Now it is 13 to 7,800 or so. The gas is comparable. 2K to 1,300, so similar ratio, actually. But the Ultras are on the field, and the Zerglings have their adrenal glands. Cracklings will be on the field soon. The medevacs, ByuN just abusing and using and exploiting. I don't care what terminology you use, but he makes the medevacs look absolutely ridiculous. But are there any ghosts? There are 0 ghosts, which is incredibly spooky for ByuN, as Ultra Lisks with fully upgraded Zerglings and Banelings alongside a whole bunch of Vipers. He has not been stingy with them at all. 3-3 is about to complete. I believe Ghost Cloak just begun. But ByuN can't build any ghosts because he's maxed out right now. So he has to trade away some of his units without losing a fight outright. Which is a strong... Well, that's going to be somewhat difficult to do. The Widow Mine's taking out some of the chunks. There's enough Marauders to make it difficult for the Ultras, but 3-3 is done. Everyone's fully upgraded here, at least the main unit. Oh, the Banelings! Oh, he's looking the wrong way! For once, microing the wrong side of the map. The Queen's on the front line. Banelings rolling through. Shin. Oh, this fight not going so great, but Banelings rolling into the mineral line. The Ultras, the planetary being repaired. The Queens, the Banelings will clean it up, and ByuN's supply absolutely plummets. Down to 130. Ghosts are on the way, but the 4th base was obliterated. The Ultras running over the field. The Banelings melting through the front line. And now the Ultras showing their worth here before the Ghosts are able to really hit the field. Well, with a few of them, he can line up the shots. He got so greedy there. He went for the Ultra. Oh yeah, remember Ultra's got a burrow buff, such as it is. They burrow and unburrow faster. Which, what is the practical use of that? Well, moral victory, apparently. not so quietly, Shin just rolling over the army there. ByuN playing the hardest to get, most annoying possible Terran. But he remembered adrenal glands, and he used it with the Ultras. Do I want to blame it all on adrenal glands? This time I will. All right, clearly making sure he's covering those upgrades. It was an incredibly exhausting game. Playing whack-a-mole with the medevacs. If moles could heal and fit 8 Marines inside them, and they could boost away from you instead of just popping up at the same place, well then, yes, the most annoying version of whack-a-mole. You guys have whacked a lot of moles. What am I saying? Moving on. Match point, yet again. Shin versus ByuN. Like I said, he can play a macro game. Sure, it was painful. Sure, he took a lot of losses. But he ended up taking the win. He's just got to trust himself in that mid to late game scenario. I really think, like, he's always been right on the edge. Right now, currently he's ranked, Shin is ranked the 5th best Zerg in the world. ByuN is 3rd best Terran. It goes Maru, Clem, ByuN. And ByuN and Clem kind of trade off. Cure, sometimes he shoots up, but then slides back, is how that works. Depends on how many Terrans get in his way, mostly. Anyways, for Zerg, there is Cyril, Dark, Raynor, and Solar kind of go back and forth. And then Shin, aka Ragnarok, aka Hebion, aka Not So Adrenal. I didn't have anything for that. But I was getting heart. My blood pressure. It's too. I'm getting too old. You can't be doing this to me. Don't forget adrenal gland. It's one. You got 600 APM. Use one of it. I guess it's technically 2 because you select the spawning pool and then hit the. Thank you. All right. So this time it's going to be 2 racks. Except he's not going to put it at the front, so it's going to be. Don't you dare just go 2 racks into medevacs ByuN. He's like, well, I think my problem was I didn't get Marines out there quickly enough. So this time, I'm going to build Marines. I've been doing it for 13 years. I ain't going to stop now. God. I mean, he is up 2-1. It only has to work one more time. He's got 2 chances. A 4th Rex. He's doing a 4 Rex. I think... Therefore I am. Because he's on the wrong side of the map is why he's building in the main like this. First time we're seeing it. From ByuN with all the racks on the high ground. He knows that that Shin is willing to do that early all-in. So why take the risk? Now, of course it didn't end well for him, but this is the worst side of the map for it, so. Any attempts? Ooh, a lair rush. 3-minute lair. Mutas? It very well could be. No, Nidus. Yeah. Otherwise, why get the roach on it? Well. Either way, he's getting a lot of tech. At this point, you should be able to predict what ByuN's going to do. Okay? ByuN has done the same thing. He's taken a bit of a different path each game getting there, but every single game, he has gone 4 racks Marine. Every single one. I'm 98% sure I'm remembering that correctly. And every single game, he comes across the map with Stim and Combat Shield. So, this time around, it looks like Shin's gonna try to not only defend, but also counterattack. So he's rushing roach speed. And very well could have it done by the time he needs to chase ByuN back across the map. Assuming he's able to do so. because he's not going to have as many roaches as he might like here. It is just Marines. There is no detail. There is nothing else. It is pure Marines. Eight more roaches on the way. Combat shield done the moment he steps onto the creep. A scan. He turns! He fights! And he targets down. Gets several roaches now. He's just grinding through them. Oh my god. Okay, well. That roach speed isn't very helpful when you don't have any roaches. He backs off. What is the tally here? 12 Marines for 12 roaches. Believe it or not, a roach costs more than a Marine. So a great trade for ByuN. He's gonna back off with enough army supply, and the fact he cut down the roach count means he's not really at risk of a major counterattack. I don't think Shin can venture off a creep at the moment. He's gonna try it. Starport. Oh my god. Is it Bronze League Heroes or is it ByuN? A post 5-minute starport. On the high ground Marines, more than enough here. Another Ravager, +1 on the way. Starport, moving over onto the Thank you. Well, looks like ByuN gonna be moving out with those first 2 medevacs. Just keeping the pressure on. Shin built up a huge... drone lead. Huge is definitely overselling it, but he built up a small drone lead behind this. Now, it hasn't really kicked in yet. Just now, starting to get that advantage. So can he turn it into enough army supply to deal with this bio ball? The medevacs will be coming out +1. We'll be finishing relatively soon. There are marauders mixed in. Concussive shells has begun as well. Shin has to deal with this army. He has to do it pretty directly, otherwise it's going to be a constant pressure that he may very well crumble to. He doesn't have that extra... ByuN has a third. He's not all in on 2 base. That last game ended up going further. Oh, he's just stimming past the corrosive bile, taking approximately 14 years to go down. He just walks up and he opens fire. And ByuN, well, I don't know where these drones are going. A bit of an odd pathing. Leads him to a queen, and he picks up as soon as the roaches chase. And the mineral wall is not taken down. ByuN could abuse that. Another relatively even trade, but I think that went a little worse overall for ByuN, but the fact he was able to take out... I only got 2 Ravagers, 27 roaches down to 37 Marines and 2 Marauders. But ByuN is keeping the pressure on. The mineral wall was taken out, which makes it a little easier for him to maneuver. Picks up the queen count. Only 4 of them because Shin went for the lair rush and has been forced to keep building units. Siege tanks in a bit of a fortress situation. Corrosive bile is not even close to the mark here. A hive is on the way. Zergling speed and hopefully another upgrade to follow it up. Shin has 80 drones now, and he's got the gold here on the half right side. Yeah. This corrosive bile kind of meaningful. He gets a medevac. The fortress back at home leaves 1 Marine behind. Can't fit in the medevac. They'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. So ByuN hasn't been able to do game-ending damage. But Shin, his upgrades are kind of mediocre. His unit composition is more bronze than brain. ByuN doesn't have +2 armor on the way. This is starting to even out here, though. Because if Hive Tech finishes, and some great Viper usage last game was really highlighting it. Spire, Baneling Nest on the way, filling in everything. And ByuN is pretty far off maxed out, so the army supply is heavily in favor of the Zerg. Oh no. Come on. He gets it! That's a good sign. Obviously. Now he just needs to survive this attack. Adrenal glands on the way. He's learning. He's adapting. Baneling nest is done. And ByuN, well, that's an awkward place to be morphing banelings. Directly at range of the Terrans on the other side of the rocks. Drilling claws this time around, though, for ByuN. He has decided if he's going to invest in the Widow Mines, he may as well go all the way. The drilling claws making him so much harder to deal with. Especially if you don't bring in, and Shin has not been super diligent about bringing detection around throughout this series. But the economy heavily in favor of the Korean Zerg.
It's about time.
We'll see. The spine crawler's not going to happen here. ByuN, no Ghost Academy, but there's no, well, oh my, wow, that base is super dead. Another drop as well. The drone count's starting to fall. These Marines, another Queen gun down. +1. Oh, and he... Oh my god, he missed! Oh, that looked good, too. The Terran army cleans up the drop in the main. Gonna deal with the drop in the natural. The attack at the third, though, starting to gain some purchase. A lot of key upgrades finishing up. Adrenal glands 5 seconds out. Drilling claws 2. The Vipers, though, Parasitic Bomb is good here. Will take out the medevac, and the Marines are taken down. ByuN, though, maintains a significant supply lead, as the cost efficiency was there, it seems. Oh my god, the medevac. Get off my creep! Medevac thrown out again, Dodge is back. Ghost Academy's finally on the way. A whole bunch of Widow Mines, but against Roach Ravager, they're not the be-all end-all. He's got a breadcrumb trail of explosive missiles, which is a very Terran-esque thing to do. Ultraless Cavern and a Greater Spire. And meanwhile, Marauders looking to snipe. Oh, Infestor goes down, leaving just one. The Viper as well. Gonna try to drag some of these mines in. The minefield doing more damage to the Terrans here. Parasitic Bomb, but the medevacs keeping the Bio Army alive. Is there enough to deal with this still? There are tanks on the back line now. The multi-tiered siege attack. Is there enough for Blinding Cloud? No, the tanks are doing terrible, terrible damage. Widow Mines don't find much, but ByuN hits the right flank yet again. And the Marauders and the Marines are stimming through. Targets down one Viper. On top of the Ravagers here. There's not enough production. 3 Ultralists in the mail, but they have yet to be delivered. And even then, I don't think it's gonna be enough to break this, as ByuN is tearing through the last of the Zerg. Adrenal glands is not enough to stop that much momentum. And ByuN will take the series 3-1. Honestly, I feel like we were somewhat denied an epic Game 5 in the rough start that Shin had there, as it seemed like he was really warming up. ByuN still, God, the things he does with Marines and medevacs are just masterful and a bit maddening, I will say, at the end of the day. But hopefully you enjoyed Micro Jackson in form, and if you got the means of motivation, you can check out Patreon, YouTube membership. Either way, be awesome if you like and subscribe. We're going for 200,000 subscribers because it's a huge round number. 1173 likes because it's +1 from the last one, and I hope I made your day at least a little bit better. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun, stay chill.